Spider Pig, does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig. Look out, he is a spider pig.
Hi, welcome to my second video tutorial, mapping with QuaRK for the game Soldier of Fortune 1. I already prepared the map for this tutorial. You should see my first video tutorial, basic map with no sky, and you'll see how to prepare the map just like I have already to save time. Alright, in this tutorial we're going to do a skybox, and I'm also going to show you how to enlarge the map, a nice fast way that works and it has less mistakes. So first let's enlarge the map. We're going to click on all the border walls, selecting the entire map, and we're going to go up here to the enlarge icon and we're going to click that twice. You're going to click zoom to center your map, and then click outside the map or escape to deselect the walls. You see now we've made our map bigger. If you want to make it bigger from here, you should go wall by wall. Now the way I do it, I usually start with the top or bottom brushes of the map. Let's make it a little longer here. And make sure you keep with the same grid. You can always use your blue lines to line up, make things evened out. Okay. Doing it this way, you'll have less problems, less holes. Much easier. Stretch out all our walls here. Oops. Nice and clean. You would do the same thing to make it taller or smaller. Okay. And so now we're going to add our texture on the inside. You'll notice I already have all the walls no draw. Again, you should see my first video to see why. So let's get our 3DGL camera here. Let's put it down here in the corner. And let's select all. Let's go to border walls, and we're going to open up all the border walls here, each one. And we're going to select the opposite face of that wall. That way we only have the walls that are facing inward. So with the east wall, we select the west face, and so on. That way we leave no draw on the outside of our map, all the pieces of the map that are not seen by the players, and the engine doesn't have to draw that texture. So with the we're going to hold down our control key to select the rest of the faces. So with the west, we're going to select the east. The north, we're going to select south, south north, sky down, floor up. Now we have all the inner facing faces of the map. We're going to go up here and we're going to go to the face view, and we're going to select a new texture, which will be our sky texture. Use the blue sky, works much better in SOF. And let's adjust the texture, keep scaling to a minimum. Okay, we're going to hit escape to deselect all the faces. Now that we deselected all the faces, let's close up our border walls and close our 3DGL, and let's add a floor, because most sky textures don't have the greatest texture on the bottom. Mostly it's black, but it's better if you add a brush to be your floor. I always use cubes for everything pretty much nowadays. Take our cube, zoom in on it here using the zoom to selection icon, little eye, comes in very handy. We're going to change our grid to 8. Don't need a really thick floor here. Go back to 32, zoom out, move it out to the edges here. Make sure you don't stick your brush within your outside walls of your skybox. It's not good to do. We're going to select the cube we just made for the floor, and we're going to give that no draw texture. That way all the faces, like the down face and the end faces sticking out that are not seen by the players, won't have to be drawn by the engine. We're going to click on the, open up the cube here, our brush. We're going to select the up face to add our texture to. We can use Hella Landing texture here and keep scaling to a minimum. And you can see it there. Now we're going to add some walls to give a better illusion to our sky. So first let's make a new group by clicking on the new group icon and clicking there to name it walls. And go up here to select our brush while it's still selected, so it'll go in our group. And bring it down here. Oops. Zoom in. Let's get it lined up with our floor. Move it over here. We're going to go to the east wall first, just like our border walls. We're going to make our walls in that order: east, west, north, south. So we'll zoom in over here. Let's thin down our wall. Stretch it out here. Get to the corners. And then select just the brush itself, and we're going to duplicate it by holding down the control key and hitting the D key as in dog, and that'll make an exact duplicate brush right on top of the original brush. We're going to move that over to the other side to make our west wall. Make it nice and smooth there. And now with that brush selected, we're going to do Control D again. We're going to shorten it up here to make our north wall. Looks like a lot to do right now, but it comes in handy. You'll be able to do it a lot faster once you start getting used to it. Here, we're going to zoom in to make it nice and clean. Overlapping in the corner, you'll see why here in a minute. Makes it much easier to miter. Switch back and forth with your grids. Makes things a lot easier. And now with that wall selected, Control D again to make our south wall. Okay, with our south wall, we're going to start our mitering now. We're going to pick the corners here and miter our, change our grid, to 8 to miter our walls. out here like this, or what I prefer to do is actually right click and drag. Hold your right mouse button down and drag your map in the direction you want to go. Save zoom in and out. Looks a little jerky that way, I know. You got all your walls selected. Go back to your 32 grid, zoom out. You mitered all your walls, deselect. Now we're going to select all the walls and we're going to make them no draw. That way all the parts that players cannot see will have the no draw texture. See it in our 3D GL there. Now we can adjust all the textures here. I do all three scaling texture tools in this order. The 1-to-1, the fit face, and keep scaling to a minimum. That seems to really even it out well. Okay, now we're going to deselect the walls. And since we went in order, open up our walls here. Our east wall, we'll pick the west face, just like our border walls up here, east, west, north, south. So boom, we know it's that face, and it'll be that face. We go over here to our west wall, we're going to select east. Our north wall, we're going to select south, and our south wall, we're going to select north. So the inner faces of the wall are facing. We picked those faces. I know that sounded really stupid, didn't it? Alright, don't laugh. Okay, now we're going to pick our texture. Go back here. Let's pick a nice wall texture. Let's get a nice brick texture here. Let's go with alley brick. Again, if you do the scaling here, bricks will be all nice and lined up. Now if nobody's going to see the top of your wall, you can leave it no draw, but in case they do, you can select all the up facing faces of that wall and give it a texture. Let's go with here, the Con 1. See here in our 3D GL. See right here, texture. And that's pretty much it. Deselect, close everything up. Now, to pick what sky you want, we're going to right click on the world spawn and go to Pacifics. And go down here where it says sky, and they got a little draw bar. You hold your mouse there, you'll see what skies you can pick from. If you want to add a custom sky, you would type it in here, whatever the name of the custom sky. But remember, when adding a custom sky, most custom skies are 1 megabyte per sky texture, and it takes 6 textures to make a sky most of the time. So that's 6 megabytes you add to your map instantly. And in SOF 1, downloading is horrible. And unless that player has that sky, they're going to be there for a long time downloading the sky. Let's do a few more things before we go in here. Our map will be ready. We have our info player start. Let's add our info player deathmatch, our spawn point. Make sure we have them face the direction we want by adding a Pacific, typing an angle, hitting enter, putting in the angle we want, which is 90. You'll see he's facing north. Now let's bring him down to the floor here. It's nice lined up with the floor. And then we'll make our light a little brighter by right-clicking. Go to Pacifics on the light. Let's put it 1,000. Light brightness. Hit enter. Oh, it's not enough. So let's go 2,000. You see, that's a lot better. Okay, deselect. And that's how you enlarge your map and make a skybox. Skyboxes come in very handy. If you do your skybox right, you won't get the hollow mirrors effect, which looks like multiple layers. And this is also, like I said, a good way to enlarge your map. A nice, safe way. Thank you again for checking out my tutorial.